I have something that some of you will consider a hot take, and it's not. It's just how I feel. It's how I felt since they left New York. It's how I felt when I still believe, in my world, that's all that matters. You beat Atlanta. And it's why I picked you to win that game yesterday. I knew yesterday was going to be ugly, going to be frustrating. It wasn't going to look right. We talked about it both on the regular program and on Game Day Uncensored. Some of Stafford's worst games come against the Vikings, and that Mike Zimmer defense. They bring absolute chaos with a number of exotic blitzes and overloads and different things. Stafford took an absolute beating yesterday. And if you expected Stafford to look great, if you expected gaudy point and yardage totals, then you just don't know what the hell you're talking about. You don't understand what this matchup is. The Lions were able to get into the mud and win what looked like up front both ways, absolute chaos. It looked like trench warfare. I mean, it was awful. Awful. I mean, linemen getting rolled up on. People getting punched in the head. I mean, guys running clear, quarterbacks taking a beating. But you won. And why is this important? Because in this league, it's very hard for teams to be taken out of what they want to do and still be able to win. It's very difficult to play the role of someone else. Look, the Lions are built. Good special teams, create some turnovers, and then allow their quarterback to rescue them from the fire. Allow their quarterback to be able to do what a lot of QBs can't do, which is be money in the fourth quarter. This game yesterday was really, really different. And it was different because, A, you're on the road. So automatically it means more. Then you add to the fact it was a divisional opponent, and it means more. Then you add to the fact that Minnesota came into this football game with the number 3 ranked offense in the league. And it means even more. And here's kind of where I'm at, and I'm going to say this, and I know I will probably be roundly criticized by many. I don't care. It's what I feel. It's what I believe. You're going to win the NFC North. I'm telling you, there's something with this team. And I'm the ultimate cynic. I'm a skeptic. But I've really begun to buy in because they have a formula and they execute it. We're not going to make mistakes. We're not going to go crazy taking a bunch of terrible penalties. Everyone's got a job to do. Just do that. Don't do anything more. We're going to run the ball even though it doesn't look great all the time. We're going to stay to it. We're going to try to win time of possession. And when all else fails, we'll be in the game in the fourth quarter. And we're either going to come up with that big stop or number 9 is going to come up with that big drive. When something happens enough, you have to buy in. When it happens a couple of times, you go, oh, that team's lucky. I'm guilty as any. I do that all the time. But when it happens twice, and twice becomes 4 times, and 4 becomes 7, and 7 becomes 10, and 10 becomes 12, guys, it's empirical data. This Lions team has an archetype on how they go to win football games, and they do it. And it's not sexy, and it's not beautiful, and that doesn't matter. Look around the league. Who's winning pretty consistently? Next to no one. You want to say the Patriots? They're 2-2. You want to say the Packers? That's fine, but understand something. Green Bay has crippling injuries. I look at this Lion team now. They should be 4-0. They are 3-1. Your next 3 games, you will host Carolina. You will play New Orleans. You will host Pittsburgh on a Sunday night game that is going to be pandemonium here. You have as credible a shot as you've ever had to be 6-1 for a showdown here against Green Bay. You have every opportunity to be the best team in the NFC. And before you make fun of me, I want to throw this number out to see who's riding with me on this. 248-539-9797. 248-539-9797. Listen, before you go crazy and go, Mike, how can you say this team's going to win this division? I'll tell you how. How about this? Let me add something to the mix. How can you say that they could be the best team in the NFC or one of the best? Okay, name the teams that are better. Yeah, I must have missed when Dallas just lost to the Rams at home. At home. And have had their quarterback exposed. Must have missed that. Must have missed when Atlanta just lost to Buffalo yesterday, and you beat Atlanta by anyone with a brain. You beat them. Giants are supposed to be a Super Bowl contender. We're 0-4. Minnesota just lost Dalvin Cook for the year. Torn ACL. They're done. It's over. Seattle can't get out of their own way on offense. They simply can't protect their quarterback. Green Bay is going to have the same issue. Who? Who in the NFC is this monolith that your team can't compete with? And after 4 weeks, here's what I know. You are consistently forcing turnovers. And some of you will say, well, that's lucky. It can't continue. I will agree you're not going to be able to force 3 or 4 turnovers a week over a 17-week season. But here's the one thing you don't do. You're not turning it over. You don't make mistakes. You allow others to do it, or you force them into something, and then you capitalize. You're playing winning football. Here's the other reason I think this team's got a real shot to do this, and I think they're going to win the division. I do. I think Green Bay right now is having one of those years where these injuries have mounted, and I don't know that they can overcome them long term. You're surviving right now, or should I say thriving, with Greg Robinson at left tackle. By the first week in November, you're going to trade for a top 10 left tackle in football. And what I mean by that is you're going to get Taylor Decker back. And I think it's going to transform this offensive line. I can't say it any straighter. I can't say it any plainer. I'm not going to yell and scream and do any of that. Guys, to me, this thing looks different than at any point in my life here in Detroit. They're playing winning football. And they can win all kinds of ways. You need to come from behind in the fourth, you got a money quarterback. You need to win a little bit of a shootout, you can do that. It's prohibited. You know, it can be a prohibitive thing to do, but you can do it. You can win a slugfest. You can do what needs to be done. And there aren't many teams in the league that are capable of doing that. The next 3 games go a long way in determining that. But I'm a believer. You went on the road, divisional game, and you beat somebody, and you beat them at their own game. You played from ahead. You got to force them into mistakes. You made a few of your own. But you went out on the road and stopped one of the better offenses through the first quarter of the season and held them to 7 points. Forced them into multiple turnovers. Did what you needed to do. Got yourself a win. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you Minnesota's the best team on the planet. But going into yesterday, a lot of people thought Minnesota was going to contend for this division. Now I think you've taken them and crumpled their season because you killed their running back. You did the same thing you did to Arizona. You killed David Johnson. I mean, you guys are like Ari Gold with a paintball gun. You just go week to week taking running backs and crumpling them. But to me, there's a toughness. There's a work ethic with this team. There's a persistence. There's something here with this where when a team when they execute a game plan enough, at what point as fans do we have to buy into it? Buying in and enjoying are 2 different things. But I buy into the fact that this team has a plan and they're able to execute it way more often than not. And I think if you plan on winning the NFC North, it's this year. Green Bay right now, I don't think they're going to be able to survive the injuries they have. And you've got an opportunity over the next 3, Carolina, New Orleans, and Pittsburgh. You got an opportunity to win all 3 of those games, be 6-1 as you face Green Bay. And you know what? Let's have some fun, and let's be easy about it. All you got to do the next 3 is go 2-1. 2-1. And you will be 5-2 as you go into a showdown for first place in the NFC North. If you would have told me this team would have been in this position right here, right now, and you asked me this in training camp, I would have told you you're nuts. There's no way. The opening fifth of the opening quarter of the season, too hard. The opening third of the season, too difficult. All you've done is go out and keep winning. So I don't know if that stirs you up on a Monday. I don't know if that gets you to respond or not. I really don't care.